Wilfried, how's it going? Digital blacksmith in the house.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm actually in Amsterdam currently in lockdown, but yeah, it's not fun to not travel, but it's also fun to stay at home for a while.
Yeah, but there's no soccer to follow right now. So Ajax, no way to follow your favorite
Nothing,
team there.
no sports, nothing. So the whole thing is we can only work, and that's our good thing as well, because yeah, we're a little bit of workaholics. And we're internet nerds. We're spending all our time behind the screen, so nothing changed that much. At least for me, it didn't. So yeah, still grinding and still working on it. So awesome to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. Now, again, just like Paul in the previous episode, or Paul has a previous episode on Serious Sellers Podcast, Wilfried does as well. So make sure to check that out, Serious Sellers Podcast. Completely free. Just search for his name and you'll see his episode if you want. He goes a little bit more into depth than what we're going to be talking about today, since we only have about 20 or 25 minutes. But just a real quick introduction, Wilfried. What's your background? Like, what do you do?
Well, I'm doing online marketing since the Stone Ages, from the 90s. And I have my own company for a few years now. And I'm from Holland. You know, Holland, the double Dutch. So we hate to spend money. So I think about 3 years ago, I looked at PPC, for example. I had my Shopify stores I was selling on Amazon, but ads are very expensive. So there should be a way to do it more organically, more free. And I basically came up with a technique and a method, and I will share it in a minute, that if you do it the right way, and I always use the metaphor, like if you go to a club, there is a bouncer, and the bouncer decides who goes in and who's not. And if you are friends with that bouncer, in this case, the algorithms of Facebook and Google, if they love what you're doing, you can go in, party with the girls, and have an awesome night. And that's the same with social media. If you do it the right way, the algorithms love what you're doing. You don't have to pay for your traffic. They will get the money from your competitors. And you said 100, but actually reached 2 billion people last year on a $10,000 budget.
2 billion.
2 billion.
2 billion impressions on $10,000 spend, do you say?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And currently we have, for a client, we have 12 million now the last month, and we didn't spend one cent at it. And of course, you want to know how I do it. So
yes,
let's cut to the chase. It's all, of course, providing value. My motto in life: provide value first, and the money will follow. So if you post stuff, don't think about the sale. Think about how you can solve your client's problem. Be problem solving, or be funny, be entertaining. For all, be real. And if you do it the right way and be consistent, I always say it's I bring you good and bad news. The good news is anyone can do it. The bad news is it's a lot of work. Because on Facebook, you need to be 3 times a day with TLC. And it's actually tender love, care, and consistency. And if you are there and you strike a nerve with people that love what you're doing, they will be your ambassadors. It's quality content. Then you get social engagement. People love what you're doing. They start sharing the content with friends and family. And then they will buy from you. The 7 steps of marketing. You need to see you 7 times before they trust you. You have credibility, authority, and you will be the number one.
Okay, so that's how about real quick, like first, the top 5 rules of thumb. If somebody wants to increase their organic reach, without having to spend a lot of money, what's like the kind of roadmap? Like, hey, post this much times a day. Make sure to post about this kind of thing, or can you just walk us through briefly what that process would look like?
Absolutely. I always talk about my snowball model, and you need to diversify also with your online media approach. First of all, start a website. It can be a WordPress blog where you just promote your own products. Try to be number 1 on Google. Howard Tai is a good friend of mine, and I talk to him a lot, and he got a product number 1 on Amazon without 1 sale and 1 review. His secret sauce was being number 1 on Google. Because all those big companies, they look at each other. If you're number 1 on Google, Amazon needs to have you as well, because probably you do something right. If you're number 1 on Facebook, Google looks at you and think, oh, that guy's amazing. Let's boost them up a few spots. And that's how the snowball model works. So start a good website. Talk about your product from a real perspective. Those are the benefits. This is why it solves your problem. do a few giveaways, and you can promote them on social media. I always say content is fire, social media is the gasoline. So if you have a good website, you will get keywords from Google, so you get more traffic. Facebook sees it, so they will promote your website or your Facebook page as well. You can also use Instagram, you can use Twitter, you can use Pinterest. You send people again to your website. Your website starts to grow, and on your website you can have your product placements with direct links to your Amazon store. And yeah, that's an amazing technique to grow, as I said, on autopilot, because as I said, if you get traffic from Google, you get traffic from Facebook, and the whole thing starts to roll over and starts to grow on autopilot. So you need to be out there on as many channels as possible. I love the Jerry V method. That's repurposing your content. If you have one awesome blog post, you have automated script, like teleprompter.com, for example. You can just put your blog in there. If you're a little scared to do a video, the text will appear in your screen, and then you just read it out loud. You have a video that you then can use on your YouTube channel. You can use it on your Amazon page. And yeah, that's the best way to go. And ultimately, it will lead into testimonials. And yeah, that's the cream of the crop, because the testimonials are actually people saying this product is awesome without you having to do it. So it's a whole technique that everything interlines into each other. And I love the 2080 model. Do 5 different things, and 20% Google, 20% Facebook, 20% Instagram. If you do all those things, and that's what I said, good and bad news, anyone can do it. Bad news, it's a lot of work. But in the long run, you will beat your competition. And that's what we're doing for years now, and it's amazing. As an example, I just started a kitchen blog. We test a lot. That's how I wanted to test the new algorithm of Google. And I sold $8,000 worth of product while I was just an Amazon affiliate in the last 2 weeks. And that's because I ranked #1 for certain kitchen items. And it's amazing. If you will talk about what you can do with that product, people read the blog, and at the end of the day, they click on the link, go to Amazon, buy the product. And that's how the system works. So yeah, the #1 takeaway: provide value first, and the money will follow. That's basically what it is all about.
Excellent. Guys, right now, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, please start putting your questions. We're going to get to your questions in just a couple of minutes. Any questions you have about growing your social media following, or having Facebook work for your brand. But before we get into the viewer questions, one question I had for you: you mentioned you did spend $10,000, on advertising. I'm sure, yeah, you should spend some. So like, what do you spend your money on? Like, obviously the best way to grow is organically, because you don't have to spend anything, but you can always increase that by spending some money. So what are your suggestions on what people should use their social media marketing budget for?
Yeah, the #1 spend you have to do is, because your channel needs to build itself up. And I always say feed the beast, because you want to give the algorithm a little bit of your money. And don't ever use the boost post method. We call it the vacuum method, because basically what you tell the algorithm is, I have $50, and they just, thank you very much, here's a bunch of audience. What you should do is do a like campaign. So you want to grow your audience through a like campaign with a few dollars a day. Post a few awesome posts, and if you see that you get some traction on it because you get people that like your post, you can then do a few engagement campaigns on those, also for a few dollars a day. Because if you just feed the beast with a few dollars a day, they give you awesome quality audience, and because they want you to spend more. And it's very funny to see that if you've just put in, let's say, $20, $25 a day in the beginning, then yeah, you get awesome results. And yeah, then you need to post quality content all the time, because if I like your post now and I like your post tomorrow, I will also like it the next day. And that's how you grow, because Facebook thinks, oh, that guy is amazing. Because people go online to be entertained, or to solve a problem, or they have a bored day and they want to be, as I said, entertained. And if you do that, then you provide value for Facebook as well. And that's why they say you do not have to pay for it. So organic reach still works. Okay,
excellent, excellent. Now, another question here. This is going to be from Augustine. Augustine says, the secret sauce, name content on a daily consistent way. How do you know whether you should just do it yourself or you should hire a third party to do that?
Well, if you do not have the time, then always hire someone. It's always to do better to do something than to do nothing. But there are so many things you can do. One thing is you should always, 80% of your post should be quality content. I always say value, value, value pitch, and think about the sale every 20%. Inspirational quotes, interact with your fans, balance your post, ask questions, hold a contest, do a giveaway, and best of all, spy on your competition. That's what Helium 10 is also doing a little bit, of course, spying on what's awesome. But if you have 10 competitors, sign up on their pages, like their pages, and the moment you open up your feed, you see incredible content, what they are doing. And if it's awesome, then don't copy it, of course, but replicate it and make it better.
All right, we're going to bring my co-host, Nick. You'll see his face on every Learn Pro training video that we have now. Let me bring him on here. He's walking around his house, it looks like.
First thing I do is look at other channels. I go to Pinterest and post some of those awesome inspirational quotes on Facebook. I go to Instagram. As what I said, you need to have 10, 20, as much as competition as possible and see what they are doing and make it better. You can then brand your content with your logo in it. And I always go to canva.com. It's a free tool. You can put in your pictures there and make them awesome. And that's the best way to go. Mix it up, do video, picture, go to gifmaker.me, for example, and create a GIF image. So it's a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, do all kinds of stuff. If you write a blog, post your blog post on it. And that's the best way to do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. All right, next question. So, what are the main ways to monetize our audience beside pushing products?
Well, you can also do lead capture, lead generation, do a free ebook and get them into your email list. It should always be value pitch. Don't think about the sale if you get them in. But that's an awesome way to do it. What I also love to do is get your messenger bot up and running, because 90% will open up your messenger bot. If you have your loyal followers in there, of course, you cannot ask for a review, but they will do it because they're your VIPs. You have to treat them like VIPs. And you can do all kinds of things, like, as I said, lead generation, contest, giveaways. They need to be your loyal followers. And if I tell you, Nick, you need to buy my product, you say, yeah. But if Bradley tells you need to buy my product, then you will say, oh, yeah, then I will probably do it, because it's almost like the Stone Ages back in the day that we said, this is so amazing, you need to buy it, but it's now online. And that's why those reviews are so important. And yeah, grow your following. They need to be your ambassadors. That's right. How you do it.
Thank you, Nick, for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, let's go back. Looks like I missed a couple of questions here. Those are some pretty good stuff. Did you do this one? How many posts should you create in a month?
These 3 a day. You can always go up all the way to 12. Sometimes we get crazy and we need to push it. We go to 12, and after that it's considered spam. But one thing is as well, your post will be shown to 100 people. If they do not interact, it's done. So people think, oh, if I do 5 posts, it's spam. Maybe if you have an audience of 10,000 people, only one will see the same post. And if you do an amazing job, everyone will see it. Then it goes viral. But you can do as much as possible. It's not a problem.
Okay. If you have a product that solves a problem, should you start a Facebook group for your company or create a Facebook group that relates to the problem?
I think the last. Yeah, always create your own page, because you can control that page. Of course, you can control the group as well. But do remember, if you start a group, they expect you to be out there as well. And if you have 10,000 people asking you 10,000 questions, it will take an extremely amount of time for you to answer all those questions. But yeah, if you have a certain niche, create a group around that niche so other people can also answer questions. And yeah, that can be very rewarding to do that.
All right. Is solving the struggles of the audience always the best way for getting attention?
Yeah, that's the number one. struggling the audience, solving the struggles. That's important. But you also need to be entertaining. And the best thing is, one of my clients, I can tell it here, is Ping Pong Payments. And they saw what we're doing, and then they said, you're posting fortune cookies, because it's a Chinese company. Yeah? And that's the best metaphor, because you also want to be entertaining. You want to be inspirational, motivational, and it all doesn't always have to be around the sale. You can also do it like that. And it's an amazing way to do it. And yeah, be real, be authentic, and show them what your product can do. That's the best thing. It's free organic traffic. I always say you own your own newspaper. So be there every day.
Here's a longer question from Andrew, but how important is it that your content is created and has explicit relevance to the country where your customers are? For example, if you live in another country but need to create content in the country of sale, is it imperative that the pictures, images, subjects are from the country that we're selling? So like in that situation, do you suggest trying to be one thing for all people in the same, you know, a Facebook group, or like, or page, or creating separate ones for the different markets?
Yeah, I would definitely do it with a language barrier. For example, I'm from Holland. I can post English content here because everyone speaks English here. But in Germany, it's totally different. If I post English post there, they think that I'm a scammer from China or something like that. So you have to be very careful and learn the different cultures. I rather have 5 Facebook pages with 5 different languages than just have one page. I then have one website, because you can have a language flag on the website, but every culture is different, and you should mix up your pictures and your message as well. Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Whoops. It says, can you repeat the websites concerning images? And that must have been done when I was in the bathroom. I don't even remember.
I go to Pinterest, I go to Instagram. Basically, I just have a top 25 of my competition, and I literally go in every day and see what they are doing. If I see, let's say they have 10 posts, and one of them has 100 likes and the other one doesn't have anything, you know that that's an excellent post. So what are they doing there? What are they saying? Is it something you can replicate, make it better, and use for yourself? Don't ever copy, of course, but yeah.
Okay. Real quick, I just wanted to throw out another contest that they're doing that's going to go for the next 45 minutes. In the comments, guys, those of you who are Helium 10 users, we'd like to hear those of you who have had Amazon success stories, all right? Or it could be a Facebook success story. Either way, tell us about your journey since you started selling in whatever chat that you're in or in the comments. And the Helium 10 team is going to pick the best story, and you'll get 1 free month of Helium 10. All right. So 1 free month of Helium 10 to Helium 10 user who posts their story right after this. You have until 12:30 to do that. All right. Back to the questions here. Let's see. And Kita says, how many hashtags should we use in our post?
Facebook, 1 or 2. On Instagram, 7, 8, or 9. It's around that number. It changes sometimes. And what's important on Instagram, do 3 hashtags with very low competition. You can go to ihashtags.com, for example, and find out how popular a hashtag is. 3 hashtags that have middle competition. Let's say 100,000 to 500,000 posts, and then 3 hashtags with a very huge competition. Because what you want is to be promoted in the first 9 posts. And we saw it happening with one of our clients, and we got 10,000 followers in 24 hours because we appeared in the top 9, and that's what you want. And if you only focus on the 9 very high competitive hashtags, you will never reach those top 9s. And hopefully you will be featured in one of the lower competition, then you can do the middle competition and then the higher competition. It's yeah, that's the best way to grow.
Okay. Carla says, what was the website for a hashtag popularity?
I use hashtags.com, but there are a few more. You can just Google hashtag Instagram website or something like that, and you will see 3 or 5 more of them. And yeah, just find out what's useful for you. And also, same way, dissect your competition. What's also important, your hashtag should be related to the image. Yeah? Let's say I put on a blue dress and my hashtag is red. You will get penalized for that as well. And I see that happen all the time, that people reuse their hashtags. They do one post and then keep on doing the same 9 hashtags because they think it's popular. But better to have 3 hashtags that are related to the image than have 9 hashtags all the time.
All right. Next question from Hecky. You didn't do this one when I was in the bathroom, right? I saw this earlier. Okay, so like, you know, if you're solving a problem, it's a no-brainer, right? But what, like, Hecky has a good point. Like, what if you have a product like barbecue sauce? You know, I don't know if that really solves the problem or not. I mean, do you create? How do you create a Facebook audience with a product?
Start doing recipes. Start doing crazy videos where people do all kinds of crazy things with the sauce. That it's flying all the time. Do something. Yeah, of course, don't feed it to your cat. But if there is a video out there that you can use that an animal or whatever is doing crazy things with a barbecue sauce and go crazy. So you need to be a little creative. But that's what I was doing on the Your Elite Mastermind back in the day. We had a client that was selling pillows and mattresses. And we found a St. Barrett's dog sleeping and snoring like crazy. We used that video in a campaign, and we got 250,000 people for free because that went viral. So you need to be creative, but recipes will do well. Barbecue season is coming. Corona, the best things you can do with your sauce. Now you're at home, lockdowns. Just be creative.
Okay.
Google the product, for example, barbecue sauce funny, and see what pops up.
Awesome. All right. Wilfried, I see a lot of questions still that people have. Will you be able to go into the Facebook live stream after this and maybe answer some of the ones that we weren't able to get?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just go to the Helium 10 software page. Wilfried will be there. If somebody can't stay on though, what's your website again if they want to reach out to you directly?
Digitalblacksmiths.io. Just Google my name. It's a fortune of having a name that's not common. Wilfried Ligthart and Digital Blacksmith. You will find me, or go to some of the previous Helium 10 podcasts. You will find me there as well. But and I will be in the chat. So I see you guys there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wilfried.
That's my problem as well. I'm always giving value, so I don't pitch
anybody who gets 2 billion. Or 12 billion or 2 billion?
2 billion, yeah.
2 billion impressions with only spending $10,000 on Facebook. We want to hear what he has to say. So thanks, Wilfried, and stay safe over there in Holland.
Thank you very much.
All right.